Hey everyone, welcome back to McFord's Garage. I don't know, got a little ambition, I guess. Did something I've been wanting to do all winter, even though I had no ambition to do it. It was something. Believe it or not, no ambition. I still have things I want to do. It's just no ambition to do them. So, but me, went and changed out the M code square bore cast iron intake, which is, get to that's over here, half covered up. So pulled this off. This is what I've been running on it, because it bolts up a Holly. And this is old reliable Holly. It's an over-the-counter replacement, factory replacement for the 735 series Holly for the 428 Cobra Jet. Got a C9 part number, but it is an over-the-counter replacement. And we covered the electric choke conversion on it, just changing the thermostat. But I've been running this, been running great, fantastic. But I've been wanting to put a spread bore 351 Cobra Jet intake on it and a proper carburetor. So come September, we go pure stock racing. We're legal this year. So they let me run last year with that Holly. But, and anyways, I wanted to get this changed and put this on here and make it more, I don't know, correct. A lot of folks hate these carburetors. There's some that like them, some that love them. I think they're great. To be honest, I've run these on many of my Torinos, the 4300 and the 4300D, which is the spread bore. And they've been great carburetors. I don't have any issue with them. The only issue you might find is if someone has been inside it and they took the pin out that retains the float in the top cover and then put it back together. That pin only goes in one direction. It has a head on it, but the head needs to be over on this side so that you have the choke well, or not the choke well, but the accelerator pump well that stops the pin from sliding out. If you put it in the other way, so the head's over here and you slide it in this way, there's nothing to keep that pin from moving, falling out, dropping the float, and you flood and push gasoline out of every port, orifice, and gasket mating surface in this carburetor. So other than that, I've had great luck with them, like I said. So this is done, and idle is set properly with the idle solenoid, because yes, even on non-air cars they use this. And what this does is you don't set it with this, you set it with this. So when you turn the key off, this retracts, allows it to shut off and anti-diesel. You turn the key on and you can hear it click, and it pushes the throttle lever open to the idle position. So, but it runs good, runs the way it should. Pick it out for a test drive, and let's see if she'll fire right up. She should when I come out of the gas station after grabbing a Coke. Beautiful. Running beautiful. So, no leaks, no drips, no runs, no errors, nothing. Just a good running carburetor. So, as I said in my short, want to thank Merckman for hooking me up with the intake manifold. And I want to thank my friend Tim Clary, fellow Pure Stock Drags racer. Has some badass big block Chevrolets. He actually has a Torino that he's slowly putting together. But yeah, I got the carburetor from him, and we made it right. So pretty cool. I like it. I'm happy. The only thing I couldn't find in my stash is the correct air cleaner stud. Don't know where the hell it went. I had a few, but apparently I've used them on 4300s that I've rebuilt for people that did not have the correct stud in it. So I used up all my stash for everyone else. The other thing that it doesn't have that I had to make work is this elbow that comes off the back. And originally it's a white plastic piece, and it actually looks like a T. Kind of comes out, you got the elbow that your vacuum hose connects to, and then it comes off a little bit further here. Some people think it's vacuum, but it's not. The end of this white plastic piece that actually goes in here is molded closed. So if you hook up a vacuum line to it, you're not going to get any vacuum. So I had one of those stashed somewhere, put it somewhere safe so I wouldn't lose it. Well, I put it somewhere so safe I can't find it. So I had to make that out of a plastic elbow. It'll work for now until I come up with the correct white plastic piece. They're almost always missing or broke. That's why I usually take them out when I get a carburetor to put in my carburetor stash. I usually take that piece out and put it somewhere safe so it doesn't get lost or broken. That plan failed me this time. But anyways, runs great. This carburetor is for a 73. It's got the 3/8 port off the back for the PCV hose, and not the larger one for the original 72 hose. So, but it works. A lot of times these hoses deteriorate, especially the end at the carburetor on the 72s, and then they disappear, they get cut down, or they get cut down like this so it can be used on a Holly. So, Old Reliable. I have Old Reliable set up with a 750 vacuum secondary base plate so that I can hook up a PCV valve. I do have the original base plate for this carburetor. This carburetor is not going anywhere. You know when it'll go somewhere? It'll go somewhere when you pry it from my cold dead hands. I've had this carburetor on and off in my possession since around 1987-ish. So it was actually on a 69 Chevelle SS396 4-speed car that a friend bought. The car, went through a couple deals with other friends, those, trading cars and this and that. Well, my last friend that ended up with the carburetor, I bought this carburetor off him for $50 back in, like I said, around 87, 88 or so. I ended up putting it on a 67 Ranchero. I ended up selling that Ranchero to my cousin Larry. And when he went through the engine, changed up a bunch of things, put a different carburetor on it, and just went into the back room of his shop. So he let me borrow it so I could test it out, try it out on one of my cars. And it just kind of stayed in my possession from the late 90s. I sold the Ranchero to him, I think, in 89 or 90. So around, I don't know, mid to late 90s, I got this carburetor from him. I've run this on a bunch of my vehicles, a bunch of my Fords. It's been on and off, but never left my possession because it wasn't mine. I was borrowing it. And so It always came off, went back up in the cupboard. When I got the engine going in this car, put it back in. This was a known good carburetor. So that's why I used the M code intake. Well, plus I didn't have a Q code intake. Put this carburetor on. The last time this carburetor had been on a vehicle was probably 2015 maybe. And put it on, fired right up. Zero issues, zero leaks. Everybody bitches about Holly's leaking. When last time I went through this carburetor, I used the blue gaskets, the blue non-stick gaskets. The carburetor's been through many iterations. I've pulled the whole choke assembly off, just put a plate on there. I had the quick change vacuum secondary spring cover on it. A bunch of things. So last time I went through it, I put all the original parts back on it, put it back together original except for the base plate, so I could run a PCV valve. Put the vacuum secondary spring in it that came in them from the factory. Put the jetting back to factory jetting. And the only thing I did was change it to an electric choke this last time when I put it on this car. So I do have the just non-heated choke thermostat. But we'll probably leave it like this. It's going to go back in the cupboard. Dumped all the fuel out of it. And people bitch about the, this new gas ruining carburetors and this and that. I've never had a problem with that either. And one thing you need to do if you pull one off to put it in storage, dump the fuel out of it. So that's what I did last time. I did that just before making this video so I could put it away up in the cupboard. Never had an issue. I have not had this thing apart. So anyways, that's what we got for progress. I'm going to put the air cleaner back on, turn the lights off, close up the garage, go inside, and enjoy the rest of this St. Paddy's Day. Everyone, thanks for watching. Those of you that subscribe, appreciate it very much. Thank you for your patience and waiting for me to kind of get back into things. It'll be a little bit before I do something else, but we're getting there. Mother Nature is off her meds here in Michigan. It's going to be 39 again tomorrow, Monday. In the last few days has been in the upper 50s. Hell, 4 days ago it was 70. But anyways, thanks for watching again. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Hit like on the video. All that kind of thing. This channel's not going to be huge. I know that. But that's cool to have everyone subscribe and watch and see what I come up with next. So, see ya.